don't have to go and fight with these people anymore, but wait, that was my family. You know, it is a modern family. You do get to know these girls. You're in their house. You get to know your crew. All of a sudden, you're never seeing your crew again. And I was really close with all of them. I like the crew better than the girls. I mean,
that makes a lot of sense. And I've heard from a lot of housewives that are not on the show anymore that they feel relief also. What about like, was any part of you like vindicated when, like LVP was then not on the show? I mean, you're smiling.
Yeah, I was so fucking happy. Are you joking? Like that bitch, she continued to try to ruin my life. And we won't go into like what she had her minions doing to me. But when finally I said she was manipulative, and then everyone's like, oh my God, yes, she is. She couldn't handle that she was imperfect. So when she didn't show up for the reunion, I knew that she wouldn't show up and she wouldn't allow herself to be fired. It had to be her quitting prior to the reunion because it had to be her decision, which, I mean, I think she was gone anyway, and she knows that. So that's why she didn't show up.
You really think so? You think she would have been fired if she wanted to come back?
It would have been me all over again. She had no friends. Like she had screwed everyone. Like she was on an island now. So for her to come back, it wouldn't have made sense. And so instead of getting fired, she quit first. So she could say she quit the show because that's just Lisa.
Interesting. I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah. She's never been fired. Are you joking?
But that does make sense, right? And I never really thought that she wouldn't be coming back. But to your point, I guess if you don't have anyone to film with.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to film with her. Everyone was against her. It's like it was for me. Like if you don't have a friend, you don't have a job.
And you feel that she knew that and she truly thought she was going to get fired, and that's why she didn't go to the reunion, as a way of saying like,
yeah, so that she quit on her terms. And she also didn't want to face any more drama of her not being perfect. The girls were ready. Let's be clear. I mean, the reunion could have been a lot more exciting had she decided to join.
If you ran into her today, what would you say? I mean, it's a small town in LA, right?
I don't know. I honestly, like, I see her car at the Glen Center because I have my PO box there, and she has a stupid license plate, which we all know it's her. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to get my mail right now. But then I'll drive around to the back and they let me in the back and I grab my mail. I actually reached out to her when she fell off her horse because she's an older woman, and no offense, like we're all getting older, like it happens to the best of us. But for her to, I think she broke her back. Like that's insane. So I just sent her a message because at the end of the day, I'm not a bad human and I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to her health. Would I like to see her lose some money? Yes.
She has enough money, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, you reached out to her and what'd you say?
I just said, I want you to know I'm thinking about you. I heard of your accident and I have an email, I know she checks it. And I was just like, get well soon kind of thing. Because at the end of the day, we did have a friendship. And if that happened to anyone that I knew personally for that long, I would reach out.
And I take it you did not hear back.
No, I did not, which is fine. I actually didn't want to. I'm like, am I opening a door that I don't want to open? But I just said, what was the thing? No response, or NRN, and that's it.
Is there any world that we live in where you could see being friends with her again?
No, I really, unless she comes to me and gives me like $560,000, I'm not going to get into why it's that number, and says, I'm sorry, I tried to trash all of your businesses, and please accept my deepest regret and apologies. Otherwise, nope.
What about, and this is the last Lisa Vanderpump question, do you think that, she does not give you enough credit for the mega hit that is Vanderpump Rules?
I don't feel like I deserve, obviously the show, I was in the intro and that's it. But they did talk about me for a few seasons and still bring it up on occasion. However, that show took off on its, on its own. I do think I should have been paid for that first episode a lot of fucking money, which I was not. And I do know that she knew what she was doing by having Sheena come up to me. So that denial of hers is just a fucking lie. And I can't believe someone would do that to a friend.
Like you think she knew all about it, like when she had Sheena come up to you and.
Oh yeah, that was her. She plans everything. And that was the reason that I was like, oh my God, this is that girl. And then, oh, please sit down with her for my new show. And I said no a million times. And then she basically begged me. And I finally was like, fuck it, I'll do it for you, Lisa. But I do not want to talk to this bitch. But Sheena and I are fine now. But like at the time, the last thing I wanted to do was sit down with one of Eddie's girlfriends.
Yeah, like you guys are fine now, but at the time it was like, I think that should be a low of your, and that must have been a hard thing to do at that point, because it was like Sheena was, that was the thing.
Well, I mean, Leanne was a thing, but Sheena was part of the thing, and I had enough issues happening with Leanne where I didn't really need to talk to another girl. There was more than just Sheena. So I didn't need to sit and have that conversation. I did it solely for Lisa.
Right. Speaking of Leanne, I know you guys, you have kind of made amends in the past few years. And listen, my parents are divorced, and it's taken them till very late in life to get to the point they're at, and they're way older than you. I mean, do you forgive Leanne and Eddie for all of that?
I forgive I forgive all of the drama that her and I went through. And the one thing I will never forgive either one of them for is missing out on half of my children's life, because we ended up sharing the kids 50-50, and I missed out on half of their lives. And that's not what any mother signs up to do when they get married and have kids, is like, oh, please, let me just give up my body and have my babies taken away from me. It's just, that was the hardest part, and I will never forgive them, and they already know that. But like, otherwise, we're all good. We spend holidays together. Eddie and I still bicker because, we don't always agree with co-parenting, but Leanne's not involved in that. It's between Eddie and I. Yeah.
That's good that you guys are in this good place, though.
11 years later, I would totally rather hang out with Leanne than Eddie. we still fight. Like, we were married a little bit, but Leanne's like, she's just cool now. Like, we both calmed down a lot.
Do you guys hang out? Do you go out for drinks?
No, but on the holidays and stuff, every holiday we're always together. We even share Mother's Day. Prior to that, I was like, fuck that. You're not, but now we're like 11 years later, we're in a great place.
That's good. And I was going to say, if you do go out for drinks, can Leanne and Eddie keep up with your drinking?
Yeah, they can. Trust. Except I drink wine. Eddie drinks tequila.